Okay, matrix multiplication in your calculator is now just a series of steps. So first thing we're going to do is you should already know where the matrix C button is on your calculator because yeah, you did it back in the last section where you're doing reduced row echelon. So the first thing we're going to do is just go into that little area, and whether you have things typed into your calculator or not, we don't care. We'll just type right over them. So don't let that bother you if there's a 2x4 or something listed here, or if you have things listed for all your matrices. Now, for us to multiply these in the calculator, the first thing we're going to do is start by hand. We're going to start off by saying, is it even possible, before you start typing things in? What are the dimensions of this first matrix? This would be a 2 rows, 3 columns, so 2 by 3, and this is a 3 rows, 3 columns. So yes, it's possible. It's not a waste of time. So now, the next thing we're going to do in our calculator is we have to type these in as 2 separate matrices. We'll call this one A and this one B. So I'm going to go ahead and arrow over to edit, and you can either use the left arrow or twice the right, and I'm going to edit my first matrix. Now the dimensions, I'm just going to type in, this was a 2 by 3, and now I can type right over the numbers. And the easiest way for me to do it, I think, is you just type 1, or type the value, hit enter, -4, enter, and you'll notice it kind of cycles through for you. It walks you through each row and then moves you down to the next one. So this one is a 1, and then I always like to double check 1, -4, 3, 2, 9, 5. Perfect. Now that this one's entered, I'm going to quit back to my main screen. I'm going to go back into the matrices, and you'll now notice I have a 2 by 3. Now I need to put in matrix B, so we have to edit, arrow over, back over to edit. I'm going to arrow down now, so now my calculator is on the highlighting the B one because I'm going to edit my B matrix. Hit enter, and the dimensions on this was not a 6, or 63. No, thank you. Let's do a 3 by 3, and we're going to go ahead and fill in all those numbers. I'm going to pause the video just so you don't watch me put in numbers. Okay, hopefully you paused your video as well and entered all your numbers. If not, do it fast. Okay, so I went ahead and put in all my numbers for B. I went through and verified to make sure they're all correct. And also, sometimes students run into an issue with the negative symbol. Make sure, this is the negative button on your calculator. This is the subtraction button. There is a difference. Subtraction is an operator, negative is a sign. Okay, so nonetheless, we have that all inputted. Now, the next part, this is simple. In the calculator, we just want to literally say A times B. So we're going to go back into our matrix screen. And now notice I'm going to use the names. I no longer need to edit them. I'm just going to use the names. And I'm going to use matrix A. And then I'm going to go back into my matrix screen. I'm going to arrow down to use the names of B. And now I have A times B. So when I hit enter, there we go. And of course, you could always verify this by doing it by hand. Oh wait, didn't we do this by hand? Isn't this the first problem we did when we learned matrix multiplication? So nonetheless, there you go. That's how you do matrix multiplication in your calculator. Now note, is the order important? If I had typed in B times A, would I have gotten the same thing? Well, B times A. Yep, nope. Totally doesn't work. And like we talked about before, the dimensions won't match because it would be a 3 by 3, and then the other one would be a 2 by 3. The inner dimensions, if I were to switch them, the inner dimensions do not match, so they cannot be done. So you'll see the calculator will tell you there's a dimension mismatch. It can't be done. So nonetheless, all right, that is matrix multiplication. Now, how would you do something like this in your calculator? I'm waiting for an answer. I know it's going to take a while because you can't. The calculator can't do something with A's and B's and C's and D's in it. So you have to do this by hand. You have no choice. And in the next section, you're going to see when we get to something called matrix inversion, you'll see why it's so important to be able to do this by hand, because we're going to have problems that look like this. We're going to have problems that have variables or letters mixed in, and your calculator is not going to be able to spit out an answer for you. But it's nice to when you don't have that scenario where you can just use the calculator to help you. So let's do this one super fast. If you want, pause the video, and I'm going to walk through just a couple of them, and then I'll pause the video and fill in the rest. But let's see here. Row 1, column 1. So my first set of values would be a times 7, so that'd be like 7a, plus my next would be b times 2, so that'd be 2b. Now, what do I do? For my row 1 entry, is there anything I can do to simplify it? Well, no, they're not like terms. So when you have letters or variables, you just leave them. It's really kind of simple. You don't have to worry about combining like terms anymore. So it makes it a little easier, especially if there's crazy fractions. It doesn't even bother you because you're just leaving them. You're not even going to try to add them, get common denominators or anything. Okay, so now row 1, column 2. So this would be what? This would be 4a minus b. And then maybe I'll just finish these up really fast. Row 2, column 1. Whoops. I can't scratch out the highlighter. Row 2, column 1. So that's going to be 7c plus 2d. And last but not least, row 2, column 2 would be 4c minus d. And there we are. And that would be your matrix. And yes, you type it into WebAssign or whatever system you're using, just like that. You're going to have to have letters in there, but you'll be fine. Just pay attention to lowercase or uppercase. If they use like lowercase a, make sure you type in a lowercase a. That can cause problems sometimes. Okay, so that is it for matrix multiplication. Now, you haven't seen a lot of the application of it yet. That's going to come in future sections, but this is kind of a little more algorithmic, just getting the process down. So write your summary, and we'll see you in section 4.3 or whatever comes next in your class.